Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm gonna be giving you part 27 of What If Naruto Was Betrayed by Hagoromo. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also go ahead and check out the brand new episode over on Anime King 2 of What If Naruto had a new training trip partner that will change everything, and enjoy that guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King 2 and Anime King 3, go ahead and click that red subscribe button. All links will be down in the description for my other two channels for you guys to enjoy. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last time we left off, two unknown figures were talking. As they were talking about Naruto, one of them was smoking, with white hair under his hood. As the both of them knew about Naruto, and knew about the danger that he posed, but the one that was sitting down didn't look too disturbed about it. Even though he was calm, you could tell that he was someone who was just generating power. As all over the world, rain was falling because of Naruto. But the rain was different. It was red. It was like blood was falling from the sky. Mito could feel it. She could tell that her brother was behind this. As Haku could feel it as well. It was him. He was doing this. Meanwhile, at a secret location, the Raikage and the Tishikage had came together, as they had something in store for the ninja world, especially for Naruto. They have already heard about him creating the Otsutsuki Empire, and the boy was taking this nationwide, as he's already conquered 4 villages, 4 minor villages that was near to the hidden zone. He went through their ranks like that, as it was quite strange for the ninja village just to give up like that, because it was said to common knowledge that there wasn't much battle that went on. It was just like the force just gave up. It is like they saw something that shook them to their very core. Why they didn't fight back? But the Raikage had his arm back. That was quite surprising, seeing that Naruto had sliced it off the last time they fought. But it was different. It looked like his normal arm, but there was something different about it. The Raikage smiled as he looked in front of him. They were strange machines. As both him and Tishikage smirk, they would use this to take over the Elemental Nation once this done, as long as they don't betray each other. Meanwhile, as Naruto faced off against Yagura, as Naruto loved every single moment of it, his battle was brutal. He allowed Yagura to hit him, for him to just feel alive. As the attack slammed into him, Yagura was shocked. He went full tail beast mode as Naruto broke down the beast like it was nothing. As Naruto was rather disappointed when Yagura simply passed out. He was about to kill him, but he stopped. Zetsu came and stopped him and begged him not to kill him. They need him for the plan. As Zetsu was running his mouth and talking, and not to mention he kept the information away from Naruto about Nagato. Naruto sliced off his arm, telling him the next time he keeps something away from him, he will kill him. As Naruto incinerated the arm for a good measure, forcing Zetsu to regrow his arm that would take a long while, as he took Yagura and got out of there rather quickly. He brought the body back towards Obito and told him what happened. Well, he twisted the truth. He acted like he did not know Naruto. He just said that he went there and told him that he would get someone strong to fight, as he told Obito that Naruto loved to fight. After that, he went back home, as he was a bit pissed off, yes, seeing that he never got the battle that he wanted. So he releases tension in sexual reliefs, as he first took Teiwaya. Yuji then came, as she saw Teiwaya in blissful unconsciousness, as she gave in as well. It wasn't like it wasn't, wonderful, but still her life had turned out rather strange. Might as well have enjoyed it. Konoha was alerted as Gaara was taken, as Nadia had sent Team 7 with a new member. How could be the new member along with Kakashi as they met up with Temari as they headed towards the hidden San. So yeah guys, so it's basically that's what I thought. If you guys can switch across to the PlayStation check out for yourself. So what do you say we begin this new episode? In a rather secluded area. After all, they were on an island. A moving island. People would think that it was, well, normal. The island probably broke off of our original island and was drifting. But it was alive. It was a large turtle. Yes, a large turtle was making its way across the seaboard. The turtle was hard to find given that it constantly moved. At the moment, there was a group of shinobis, along with the Raikage and the Tichikage. The both of them looked in front of them at the single machine that was set up. It mostly looked like a cannon, but the mouth was twisted and there was barrels on the inside. The thing started to generate power. It was like it was pulling literal power from the air. The Raikage looked towards a man that was in a white coat, brown pants, and he had on glasses. "Is everything ready?" he said. The man nodded. "Yes sir," he said. "Then let us commence this test," said Tishikage. The man nodded as he looked at the caliber on the machine. As it was currently orange, it started to go up red. And the redness started to get even more crimson and thick, until he looked towards the two Kages and nodded. The Raikage stepped forward as he placed his hand on the machine, a part of it that just seemed to sense his hand for some reason, as chakra threads attached to it. As he felt a small pulse of his chakra being used to activate the weapon, and it fired. In front of them, that was set up, there was a massive... The thing looked like a mountain. A earth-style jutsu did it. It was from the Tichikage and his man. The thing was large, able to squash sizable villages like the smaller nations. The energy, it was a mixture of golden and blue. As it fired, it whistled through the air with tremendous speed. It incinerated the mountain, leaving nothing behind. It was just completely gone, like it was deleted from the world. As the following tremor shook the place violently, large animals all over the island trembled as some of them fell down. The Raikage and Tishikage smiled as the both of them looked at each other and gave each other a firm nod. Everything was going according to plan, faster than expected. After the chaos ended, the Raikage turned towards the man in the white coat. "Has the others been calibrated like this one?" "I'm sorry, but no sir. We were able to create them, but given that this is the first successful test from our past failures together." "Senjutsu," said the man, as he grimaced a bit, remembering the other tests and the people that died. But at least they got the first one running, and they can just use the same method that they used in the other ones. "Well, get to it," the Raikage said. "We don't have much time. With the way things are going right now, the attack will soon fall on us." The information had spread. Many people had been talking about Kiri and about what happened, as Kiri is now under control by the Osusuke Empire. That is why they were speeding up the tests and these machines that were able to gather Senjutsu. One of the main things that can actually hurt Naruto, a energy that was different from normal chakra. Seeing that Naruto had the power of the Jubi, well, it had twisted and twisted into his over the millenniums that he has been sealed, but it was still similar. And the power can hurt him. But how did they know that? They were told. When the Raikage first saw the person that told him, it shocked him, as he still couldn't believe that this was real. He was also told what exactly that boy was, both him and the Tishikage. The man that told them was none other than Hagoromo himself. Speaking of Hagoromo at the moment, "What have you done?" Homura said as he was pissed off. You could see how pissed he was as he looked at his brother. The both of them were dead, but they were still able to access the human realm. But they had used up their time here by spending their time with Mito and Sasuke, also giving them power and helping them train. They can no longer return, well, for now. They will be able to return soon enough, but their spirits are now completely locked to the purified world, and they can't return just yet. That is the moment they haven't been in contact for the past few months in prior. Well, they have already told Mito and Sasuke about this, so that is why they weren't so worried. How is this even possible? You cannot talk to them unless they have what is come to known as the Senju, the Uchihas, with the Mokiton or the Rinnegan. So what happened? or if they have Naruto chakra. And from what I recall, Sasuke and Mito did not went anywhere near Kumo, as the both of them had been told about the current situation of the world while they were helping the two on the training trip. So how? And why have you done this? As Hagoromo looked like he was in the wrong for once. Usually he was the one that was always defining his actions, but his eyes then became steel. I had to, he said as he looked at his brother. By each second I can feel him growing in power. I can feel the darkness in his heart getting darker and darker. I can feel that power that we were unable to best, the both of us, at our strongest. We did it. Don't act like you didn't help me. We both sealed him away because we both know that was the right thing for the world. So, we have to bear with the consequences. You gave them the idea to create weapons like that to harness nature energy. Do you know what these humans are going to do with that after this is over? That is, even if it's over. Do you know what Naruto is going to do when he finds out about this? You told them the secret of how to harness nature energy. Like the animals, like the toads. How could you tell them that secret? I just told them how to do it to harness it in the machines that you were creating. But that is what you don't understand, brother. Homura said, what do you think they were going to do after they destroy the Sasuke Empire that Naruto created? And how do you even know that they will be able to do it? They've already created a lot of machines, and they're able to gather nature energy. When I last saw it, it was not fully up to date, but how did you even speak to them? My artifacts. My artifacts that they're created, Kumo had stored them away. Each and every one of them has a bit of my power in them, so I was able to go there. Homura walked away, holding on to his head. Do you know how stupid and idiotic this plan of yours is? We were working on the other two. They have gotten strong, Sasuke and Mito. Not strong enough to beat him, Hagoromo said. Brother, you and I could not beat him. He was holding back the entire time. Didn't you realize that? He wanted to stop this. He wanted us to help him. Treat every single human like slaves. That is why he didn't really go all out. He held back against us. Me! Hagoromo says he was angry. Despite that, there was a big blow to his pride back then. He was supposed to be the strongest. Everyone come to know him as the sage of 6 path. A man that was supposed to be a god, but yet his brother held back against him for pity. Is this what this is about? Your goddamn pride. That is why you've doomed the world. What do you think is going to happen if they actually kill him? That is, if they kill him. Do you think they're just going to destroy those weapons? Do you think they're just going to leave the world like that? They're going to try and take over everything. You just gave them a way so that they can take over the entire goddamn elemental nation. Homer was pissed as he never cursed like this before. As he looked at his brother, as he couldn't believe what his brother had done. He couldn't believe that he had gone so far as to tell the humans how to harness the nature energy in that way. Especially how to use it turned into weapons. He has to be stopped. He has to be stopped. That was the only way I could think of. What about Mito and Sasuke? They're not strong enough, Hagoromo said. We might have given them our power. They both might have evolved, but they're still not strong enough. What happens when you lose it? What happens when you decide to stop weak? What happens when you release Ragnarok on the earth? Do you think they can stop him? Do you think anyone can live? I know that many people will suffer because of these weapons, but still, it will end him. It will stop him from doing what he promised, because I know that he's going to make that promise a success. And I can't allow him to do that. I can't allow him to enslave and control all the human race. Homura walked away as he just went to sit down, as he buried his face into his palm. He mumbled something. What was that? I said I should have never listened to you. I should have never go along with your plan. I should have never sealed him away. I should have talked to him more. I should have tried to find a way to bring peace between us. We shouldn't have sealed him away. Because now we're reeling back from our actions, and people are going to suffer because of what you did. I know I am to blame for going along with their plan as well, but you given these humans that want nothing but chaos and destruction, as you already seen. You heard about the war that they started. If it wasn't for him, Konoha would have been wiped out. Many more people would have died, although he's changed now for the worse. He still prevented Konoha from being wiped out. Give someone that amount of power. Do you think they will use it for good? I bet you once he's done with the Otsutsuki Empire, the both of them, They're gonna turn their weapons to the rest of the world. And this will be all on you. If Mito and Sasuke can't stop it, if they end up failing and the world going to chaos, this is all your fault. I don't know what you're thinking that your plan would work, but you did not exactly think it out. You were supposed to be the smart one, the wise one, and yet you start something that you don't know if you can finish. I just pray that somehow this turn out for the better. Because if the Raikage and Tishikage slips up, if they fail to kill Naruto, everything is done. The world as we know it is doomed. Because he's gonna retaliate. And it's not gonna be a one attack and it's over. He's gonna wipe out everything. You know what happened when he get lost in his bloodlust. If he accidentally kill his sister, that's gonna make it even worse. You remember what happened that day when we first told him that we can't allow him to enslave humanity. You remember that feeling when he tapped into that raw, unnatural power that he was granted from the Jubi, that had twisted and somehow created something even darker within him. You remember, don't you? Hagoromo stood there. Of course you remember that dreadful day. Flashback. What? What? As Naruto stood there, Naruto Sasuke in his full might. Time before the era of shinobis, the three brothers are looking at each other. You're telling me you're siding with the humans, while us gods, you want we to coexist and work with them? As Naruto stepped back, I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to tell me that you're joking. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Neither of them said anything. Hamura, tell me that it's a joke. Tell me that it's a joke. You're siding against your brother for humans. I'm sorry. Sorry? You're going against me for humans and all you have to say is that you're sorry? We can't allow you to do what you have in plan. We have to get rid of Ragnarok. We won't allow you to destroy the world for your own selfish goals, to take over. Naruto started to laugh. As his laughter became dark, the ground started to crack underneath him. A weight suddenly dropped on Hagoromo and Hamura's shoulders. The both of them felt like the Shinigami had reached into their soul and was yanked it out. And tell me, which one of you are gonna stop me, he said, as they felt the power that they never felt before from him. It was dark, twisted, filled with so much power, it felt endless. In the flashback, Hamura walked away, as he simply didn't know what to say to his brother anymore. To give the human this knowledge, Hamura went down to his knees, as he just sit there. In truth, he knew that he messed up back then by sealing away Naruto. Because if there was a way he could have found it, he could have found a way to speak to him. He could have found a way to stop and talk to him before all of this went too far. Reason being, they told him about Mother and that they had to seal her away because what she wanted to do. And he took that. Yes, he actually took it. He did not retaliate against them or attack them. He was angry, but he took it. But instead of talking to him like Hamura wanted, they fought and they sealed him away. They locked him away for millennia. And his soul had just became blackened and dark. The amount of hatred that he had for them now was relentless. There was no talking him out of this. And he knew that Naruto would make him suffer by just burning the world to make him watch. And that was something that he could not allow to happen, even if it meant handing something rather dangerous towards a person that didn't see the good in humanity but want control. The Raikage was a rather power-hungry man. He would do whatever it takes to make sure that Kumo is on top. He would just have to hope right now that Sasuke and Mito would be able to handle themselves once the threat of Naruto is gone. As he sighed to himself, as he feel like he made a really big mistake by giving them that piece of information. Meanwhile, at Konoha, enough, said Tsunade. She slammed her hand right on the table as cracks start to appear all over it. As it was a rather large table with all of the clan heads around it. It was a council meeting as they were all arguing. Her outburst made everyone stop. They had been talking about the missing nin. That was Naruto. After all, being a Konoha ninja, to have him just leave the village and create his own village and be out there right under their nose and they knew exactly where he was. Why haven't they done anything about it yet? Not to mention from the recent report that they have gotten, Naruto has taken over 10 smaller nations by now and a larger one that was Kiri, as it had fallen under the control of the Osusuke Empire, which was growing day by day. Everything was being taken over. 3 villages that didn't comply was annihilated. Yes, 3 villages that was too stubborn was wiped off the map. And the scary thing about this all is, Naruto hasn't been there. He only sent his subordinates to handle these kind of, well, talks. But the 3 villages that were wiped off the map, he was there. He personally incinerated all of them without a second thought. Countless of people had been killed, innocents, kids, as they were currently having a council meeting because they were getting near to the border of Fire Nation. They had taken over the Land of Fan, the Land of Beer as well, and the Land of Hot Water. So if they took over the Land of Wool, that was the last step to take over Taki. And once they would take over Taki, they were in the Fire Nation. And they feared that they would be next. Tsunade has been trying to buy some time, but she figured that it was finally time to tell them the truth. To tell them about what Naruto really is. Because it seemed rather strange for them not be doing anything against him. After all, he was a missing from Konoha doing all of this. She sighed, she had enough problems already. They are allies with the Sand, they had recovered. But with Kumo, they have been rather silent. She thought that Kumo would have sent something to them to try and regain some kind of neutrality between them, but they have not. Jiraiya went to investigate. Kumo had shut down their borders. Not to mention the Hidden Stone. Both borders are completely shut down. Tsunade rubbed her forehead. Alright. It's time I tell you all something. The reason we can't be so rash, she said. Meanwhile, as Team Kakashi was making their way towards the Hidden Sand, if they took the long way around, it would take them at least 3 days to get there. But Mito was insistent that they take the shorter way. But that included passing through a territory that wasn't theirs. But she was confident enough that she could handle anyone that came across their path. Sasuke was confident as well. Temari didn't really care. As long as they get to her brother. As long as he could save her brother before the Akatsuki do anything dangerous. And save Conqueror as well. So with that, they were passing through a grass territory as they were moving at top speed, making their way rather quickly. It was then that Kakashi sensed something. Sasuke sensed it as well. As suddenly, ninjas dropped down in front of them. All of them wearing a strange black clothing. It was fully black, long black pants and a long black shirt. They were wearing a strange vest over that black shirt. And there was a crest on it. A strange crest. It was an eye. It was then Mito took notice of the eye. It was red. With the patterns, the circular patterns. With the Megatamas as the Sharingan. It was her brother's eye, but who? She narrowed her eyes at these people. Could they be? Could they? As she stepped forward to say something, but one of them reached towards his hilt. A sword hilt that was attached to his belt. You're trespassing in unknown area. Remove yourself, or we remove your head. The man said without a second thought. Sasuke narrowed his eyes. Suddenly, his Sharingan flared to life. As Sasuke saw it, there was a silver haze running through the man's coils. He could see Naruto's chakra, as it has been a part of him for so long now, and it helped him develop in more ways than one. It had fused into his system completely, with the help of Hagoromo, but he could now see it as well. These people, they're working with him. I knew it, said Mito. Where is my brother exactly, she said. She knew that her brother was in the Hidden Stone, but that was not, well, the issue. Given that the Hidden Stone was locked around by the other islands, you couldn't pass through there, and Jiraiya had told her the place was completely locked off. She'd never actually been to the hidden zone before, so she didn't know exactly where he was. You're Mito Uzumaki. The first one says he removed his hand from his hilt. He then narrowed his eyes as he looked over Haku. You're Haku Uzumaki as well. And you're Sasuke Uchiha, Kakashi Hatake. He turned his head towards Temari. I don't know who you are. He glanced towards his group that was behind him. There was 3 of them. Before they all vanished. Wait, said Mito. But he vanished as well. Kakashi grabbed her hand and she was about to go after him. Mito, we don't have time for this, he said. We need to keep on going. She nodded, as she knew that she had to save Gaara. But they fled. Her brother must have told them about her. And Haku and Sasuke, all of them. The group continued on as Kakashi could feel it. They were watching them from the shadows. Once they left that part of that nation, they didn't feel them anymore. But they chose not to attack. They felt no killer intent coming from them at all. That was rather strange. It seems like just seeing them had calmed them down for some reason. But he didn't have time to think about that as he quickly made his way as they head towards the hidden sand. Time skip. It was currently night time. As Naruto was standing on the roof. Yujiro made her way up there. What are you doing? She asks. You know, the way you're set, you look like a werewolf. As his head was looking up in the sky, his hair was flapping over his back, making him look like he was covered in fur. As he said nothing at all, she was confused. Usually, he talked to her more open than the others as well. He treated them better than he treated everyone else. But he talked to her more, well, better. And he was nicer to her. If she didn't know better, she would say that he liked her more. And she talked to him as well. She made her way to his side. They're coming for me, he said. She looked at him confused. Who's coming for you? People like me, he told her. My mother once told me that she ran away from her clan. People that are powerful as her are more powerful. It was faint. But the day I released my power, I sensed it, something through the atmosphere. I can sense that they were there. They must have sensed me as well if I could sense them. She was confused. People like you? Yes. Beings that are not from this world. They're gonna find me. Despite that sounding rather dangerous, he smiled. Wait. You're telling me that there's people out there that is strong like you? Or maybe even stronger, he said. Then why are you smiling? That's the fun part. I've held myself back too much. What do you mean? You know that I recently went to Kiri, right? Yeah. T.Y. told me that Kiri is now under the Otsutsuki Empire. Well, I faced off against your Mizukage. And the man was pitiful. The Kage name was supposed to be the strongest ninja, but he was weak. I couldn't even use a fraction of my true power. I had to hold myself back, in fear of killing him too quickly. To tell you the truth, there is no one on this earth, not a single one that can test me. And what if all of us join up together? How will you win, she said. Do you think you can take on the entire earth by yourself? You're strong, but are you that strong? He smiled as he said nothing. Wait, you actually think you can do that, she asked. He did not say anything, but she had a feeling like he could. As it was the first time she saw him so happy. You know, you're rather strange. Knowing that someone is coming to take your life, and yet you're so happy that you're smiling ear to ear. It's all a part of the excitement. Naruto turned towards her quickly, startling her a bit. You know, it was bad. Being locked away for millennia. Can you even imagine what that feel like? The tail beasts. Some of them whine about being locked away for a couple of years or something like that. But I was locked away from the era of the Sage of Six Paths. That is what you people came to call Hagoromo. I was locked away ever since then. Suffering, agonizing torture. That is the thing about it. The tail beasts are safe while they are locked away, but I was suffering. My chakra was being shredded. I begged, I pleaded. I even have the decency to say that I cried. I cried over my mother, for my brother, anyone to save me. Because my literal soul was being ripped apart, but I was left alone. It ripped my mind to shreds, tore me to cinders over and over. But I fought. I tried my best until there was no more point of going on. I wanted to die. I wanted to kill myself because even though my body had been shredded to pieces by those chakra strings that literally pulled me apart like a puppet, I could still feel every second of it. I could still feel the time that passed. My mind was broken. I had to go into the deeper, darkest parts of my mind to break through a boundary where I could leave my memories. Live my memories of when I was younger with my mother and my two brothers. But even then, reality broke through and showed me that I was still stuck in that box. Centuries passed, and I was stuck. And it was just agonizing pain over and over. To live, to know that you're alive and aware of being stuck somewhere for centuries without anyone, all alone. That is why I will undo everything that Hagoromo fights so hard for. I will break this world down to the last atom if I don't get what I want. Because I will rule. I will overcome any threat that takes its place towards me. I will kill each and every Osusuke. I will make them know who is the one and only true God. His words had strength behind them as he spoke. As he looked right into her eyes, she could feel the amount of power just resonating from him even though he wasn't angry or anything. Because I am the only one that is meant to rule. For all of my hardship, for all of my suffer, I shall take this world. That should repent for everything that he's done to me. Even though I've been trapped for so long. But once I have this world under my control, once I become its eternal ruler, once I become the all-knowing God, that is when I will truly feel satisfied. Not until then. He then turned his head back towards the moon as he looked up, right into the sky. She just looked at him. He was doing bad things. Yes, really bad things. He wanted to take over the entire world. He was just one man, but he had so much confidence when he spoke like it could be done. He had no fear. He feared absolutely nothing. He smiled at the challenge. He relished the possibility of getting killed. She didn't know why, but that made her body ache, wanting him. It was true what they say. The girls always go for the bad guys. She tackled him down to the ground as she started to kiss him. As her urge just took over her body. Well, it's not like he minded as he started to kiss her as well. The both of them laying together right there, right on top of the skyscraper castle, under the moonlight. Time skip. Jiraiya was currently making his way around the land of grass. As he was making his way towards the land of bears, he had a spy there which he usually get information from. But the man had asked for an extraction, as the place was going under complete lockdown and he didn't want to stay here anymore. As Jiraiya had to find a way to get the man out of there. As he couldn't leave, he was being watched, considering that he was on, well, top priority in the village, seeing that he had worked well near to the council and people were in the office with him. And there was eyes on him even if they weren't watching him that much. They know where he is and know where he's going. And all of the village that had been condemned by the Osusuke Empire was put under lockdown. Something was going on and Jiraiya wanted to find out what is going on. That is why he was currently making his way through the land of grass. As he had concealed his chakra well, it was currently nighttime as he swiftly made his way, making sure that no one would sense him. He needed to find out how did Naruto just get complete control over the village like that. Why they didn't put up any resistance. He knew that he was strong, but did these people really give up so easily? Did he promise them anything or did he do something? Jiraiya wanted to know for himself. And he needed to see why all of them had been put under lockdown. What has been happening in their villages? As Jiraiya made his way, something flashed past his vision. Jiraiya paused in complete shock as he was currently crawling. As he had sent some shinobis, but he suppressed his chakra to the limit. No one could sense him. That is why he was surprised at something cold pressed up against the back of his neck. I suggest you don't move, unless you want to die. Jiraiya did not move. Suddenly, he felt it. Several more landed around him. Their power felt strange. It was the same feeling that he got off of Naruto, but not nearly as strong. He could take them, but these ninjas, they were the sound ninjas that had gotten a boost from Naruto somehow. As he was pulled to his knees as he looked at them, 5 of them surrounded him. As they all had a weapon towards him, trying to breach in the Osusuke Empire without proper authorization is a crime, and we're not lenient to prisoners. The man didn't care who Jiraiya was, and given the fact that Jiraiya had currently, put his hair under illusion, and his markers in his face were gone, he didn't look like anyone that the man knew. So he didn't know that this was Jiraiya, the legendary Toad Sage. As Jiraiya prepared himself because he wasn't about to let himself get killed so easily, he could take them. As he was about to move, a voice spoke. Stop. Instantly, the several men went to their knees, bowing to someone. As Jiraiya turned, it was none other than him himself, Naruto Osusuke. Go back to your jobs. I'll handle this one. Yes, my lord, they all said, as they went off. Jiraiya knew that he was screwed. Was this the end? Was he gonna die here, he thought to himself. As Naruto looked at him. Follow me, said Naruto. Jiraiya was confused. He got off his knees and made his way. Tense. Thick, awkward silence. That was all. As Jiraiya was trying to look for a way to escape, as he thought about his options if he could outrun Naruto. As he then thought about what the sage said, and he thought that it was impossible. But where were they going? As they arrived at a platform where 2 large stones were. Nowhere special, as Naruto simply sat down. Tell me, why have you been trying to break through my conscience for the past last weeks? How did you? Everything in this place I own. From the ground to the trees, to the buildings. I sensed you the moment you were close by. So I'm not gonna ask again. Tell me, why have you been trying to break in to my conscience? I wanted to find out what was going on, said Jiraiya. Normally, I would just kill you and get it over with, or allow my man to kill you, because you pose no threat to me, Jiraiya. You might be strong to these lesser shinobis, but I can end your life like this. Then why am I still alive, Jiraiya asks. You have information that I seek. And what's that, Jiraiya said. It's about the toads. What do you want to know, Jiraiya asks. As he looked at Naruto, the great elder toad. Is he still alive? Given from past events, he once told us that he lived for a long time. Jiraiya was surprised. So the elder toad had been there since the Sage of Six Path time. But Naruto didn't answer his question. How many toad users can enter Sage mode, he asks. Well, it wouldn't be a surprise that he knew about that. To collect Senjutsu Chakra, I figure that you would know, given that you're old. I suppose you can do it. Jiraiya nodded. Aren't you gonna ask if Mito can do it as well? At the moment, that's not important. That? Are you really referring to your sister as that? Aren't you gonna ask about her? Aren't you gonna ask about the problem? Aren't you gonna ask about the pain and suffering you put them all through? About Haku? About your friend Sasuke? About your poor little sister? Aren't you gonna ask about that, Jiraiya said. Losing his patience, he didn't care if he was strong. He sit here, acting like he didn't care at all. After all, he was told that Naruto was still in there. The one that lived with Mito at Konoha for years now. So he knew, and he felt the same feelings. It is just his another personality that was not making him see that. Jiraiya, speak out of terms again, and I'll kill you, said Naruto. Well then go ahead and kill me, said Jiraiya, because I want to know. Don't you give a damn about what you're doing? Don't you give a damn about her, or anyone else? Do you know how much pain and suffering you're causing all of them? Do you know how much they're going through right now? Because of what you're doing. The entire world is currently shaking because of what you're doing. One man, an army taking over all of the smaller nations and moving on to the larger ones. Here he has just been taken over That is a sign that you can take over major nation. Do you think that Kumo or the stone will just sit down by that, or the sand, or Konoha? Despite Snaden knowing exactly what you are, the others won't care. They will retaliate, and that will cause a lot of death. What if she get caught up in that? Are you gonna still sit there and say that you don't care? It happened so fast. Naruto moved. Jiraiya was licked up in ear. He raised his fist and smashed it into Naruto's face several times. But Naruto didn't even move an inch as he held Jiraiya by his throat. Jiraiya twists and turns as he tried to get out of Naruto's grip. But no matter what he did, he could not. As he could feel his breath getting shallow and shallow. His face started to turn blue as he could barely breathe anymore. As Naruto started to squeeze his neck even more. As Jiraiya could feel his life literally slipping away from him. Before Naruto tossed him as he smashed to a tree. The next time you talk out of terms like that, I'll kill you. That is more warning than I give other people. You should be happy for that. Well, that was the only thing that I wanted to know. As he started to walk away. As Jiraiya propped himself up, coughing, as he sucked in out of air. What the hell was that about? What the hell? Did you want to know about Sage more than if he had it? As Naruto made his way, why should he care about her? She's not even his real sister. Well, if you think about it in a logical way, she kinda is, seeing that they were born from the same womb, but that still didn't matter. He was different, he was a god. She was just a human. Why should he care about her or Haku or Sasuke? He was never his friend. Just someone for him to battle most of the time to test his strength. He wasn't his real self back then. It didn't matter what Jiraiya said, he was still gonna achieve his plan. He will make this world bow before him. Soon enough everyone will understand and know the name Naruto Sasuke. He paused once again. This time, he felt it. It was near. Someone was coming for him, and he could tell. It made him smile. This should be fun. Meanwhile, a distance away from the earth on the moon, stood one man. As his eyes looked down towards the earth in front of him, he knew what he had to do. As his white hair framed the side of his face, as he looked down towards the earth, he had sensed him ever since he awakened. He thought that it was impossible for him to awaken, but it seems like he has come back, and now he has to be the one to stop him. But he knew that at the level that he was nowhere near the power to kill him. He needed something first. He needed the eyes. Yes, with those eyes. They should grant him enough power. After all, he's been preparing. He's been training hard, making sure that his body was in fighting condition. He had took Hamura words to heart, as it had been passed down into the legends. If Naruto Sasuke was ever to be reborn on this earth, if he was ever to be free, the earth will be doomed. From what he has seen, mankind has brought nothing but hatred and chaos. That is why he will destroy it. Yes, he will destroy this earth to stop all of this, and by taking him down as well. But first, he needed the pure Byakuguns. He needed them to achieve what he wanted, because that was the only way. Despite the actions that he was about to take right now to get them, that was the only way for him to defeat Naruto Sasuke, and there was no other way around it. Time skip. As the group had a new member, as they were making their way towards where Pakon had trapped the Saint, as they were moving rather fast, with the new member being Lady Chiu, as he decided to tag along, as Temari had to stay behind, seeing that Kankuro was still not up to 100% and the Sand still needed a proper defense. Haku was able to heal Kankuro rather well, and he was on a way to full recovery, as they were able to track where Sasori and Deidara made their way. So they were currently making their way. Someone just arrived, said Sasuke, and true to his word, as he landed in the clearing, two people stood there. It was then they noticed who they were, as Haku glanced towards Sasuke, but he was calm. Standing there was none other than Itachi Uchiha himself, along with a smirking Kisame. And what do we have here? Kisame said. It's him, the Kingslayer, said Chiyo. As this man was the one that slaughtered off his clan. She glanced towards the other Uchiha. Surprisingly, he was calm. She thought he would have already flipped out by now. It seems he had good control over his emotions. Itachi, Mito said. It's been a long time, Mito, Itachi said. As he looked at her, you've certainly grown. Sasuke's Sharingan activated. They're not real, he said. As they looked at him questioningly. They're not real. This is not the real Itachi and Kisame. But they have their chakra, but not all of it. This must be some kind of jutsu. Just to slow us down. They want to complete something, probably the extraction. Itachi smiles. He looked towards his brother. Seems you've gotten smarter. And your eyes. They're different. Indeed they were. The Megatamas that were supposed to be black were now silver. Everything else was normal, but the Megatamas were now silver completely. I don't have time to waste on the fake. Let's take them down, said Sasuke as he moved. Meanwhile, as Pain and the others were completing the extraction, when a presence suddenly descended upon the cave that they were in, all of them paused as they felt it. What the hell is that, said Deidara. Something is coming, said Sasori, as he narrowed his eyes. Tendo looked around. This power. It feels like boom, an explosion went off as the wall was blown to pieces. Tendo was confused after all. The seals was supposed to keep anyone out. How did this person, whoever it is, break through them so easily? Ah. So this is where it is going on. Zetsu, retreat further into the room. Damn it. Why was he here? Why the hell was he here? At the moment, Obito was not here. After all, the Akatsuki was completely packed at the moment. And he didn't need to reveal himself yet. He didn't need to be the new member yet. But standing there was none other than the man himself. Long black pants, wearing elegant sandals. He was wearing a loose white shirt that covered his arms when the sleeves went down. As he stepped inside, on the back of the shirt was 11 Megatamas. There was also more Megatamas going around the neck part, like a chain as it went down straight towards his stomach and stopped, before creating a circle and then went down, before it ended at the bottom of his shirt. As he looked around the room, he spotted the two that weren't holograms, as his eyes connected with all of them. And who the hell are you, Hidan said. Pain narrowed his eyes. A smirk came on Naruto's face. So you're the Rinnegan user, but you're not physically here. He then looked towards the giant statue. I was wondering where this thing was. As Naruto smiled, it was then the statue twitched a bit. Nagato was confused. As the statue moved on its own, it seemed to react to his presence. You know I'm here, don't you? I know you must have some retaining conscience or something, given the fact that you have a tiny piece of your power from the Shikaku. I bet you want to kill me, don't you? To take all the power I stole from you and mix with my own. Don't worry, we will fight. I'm looking forward towards it, and our battle will be glorious. I'll make sure it happens. He then moved as he broke through the orb, breaking through the orb that was around Gaara. As he slammed his hand right on Gaara's stomach, before twisting it, he ripped out the remaining power of the Shikaku as he tossed it right into the mouth of the statue. Gaara's body fell down to the ground with a thud. As he landed, he then turned his head. You, Rinnegan user, I'm looking forward of you gaining all of the power of the tail beasts. I currently have the 2, 8 and 9 tail in my possession. It was then that Nagato narrowed his eyes. 9 tail? Yes, many do not know this, but I have half of the power of the 9 tails. That will be enough. So once you're done the others, come find me. I trust that you know who I am. Indeed I do. Well, I have no wish in joining your little organization here. But once you're done, make sure that you come for the 3 tail beasts that I possess. And bring all that you can, okay? It's not like I will give you them freely. After all, You have those eyes. Let's see if you can live up to the reputation. With that, he started to walk out. Hidan then spoke. Are we just gonna let this guy leave like that? Who the hell is he? What the hell was he talking about? Just what the hell is going on, Hidan said. Naruto turned as he paused. He felt something familiar. You there. Your presence. Feel like judging. Hidan narrowed his eyes. How do you know my lord? Your lord? Yes, my lord Justin. Naruto started to laugh. As he just kept on laughing as he walked away. Not saying a single word to anyone else. At that moment, the eyes of Kisame and Itachi opened. They're coming, said Kisame. As Naruto simply walked out, paying them no more attention. As he felt it coming. He turned to move, but he stopped himself. Several figures quickly landed all around him. But the two that stand out, well, the most, was Haku and Mito, as they knew it was him. They looked at the one person in this world that they each care more about than anyone else. Brother, Naruto-kun. But guys, if the ends episode right here. If you want to see the next part of the do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, stay in tune for the rest of the series coming your way. And also stay in tune for What If Naruto was personally trained by Kurama over an anime king, which I do hope that you guys enjoy. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we get out of here? See you guys soon. Peace.